My journey to the vast as ocean is begin with a young boy from a very remote tribal village located at district Chandrapur, Maharashtra, India, where I have completed my graduation. And that time, when I was a kid, I was not having any knowledge of the marvelous things happens in the ocean. Only the fact, the known fact that we swam in it. But you see, life is a peculiar way of staring at us. It's the wise of ocean. I remember after completing my graduation from one of the college of my village, I came to the city place. For us, the city place was Nagpur to take admissions to the masters in microbiology. I remember that was the last day, and the last hour of admission, I went to the Department of Microbiology in the university. One of the professor was sitting there, and my total attire was like a village boy, messy hairstyle, shirt was not in, and the slipper. He saw me from head to toe and immediately fired 3 questions on me. Hey, who are you? Why you are here? Where do you come from? Immediately my mind replied that I am from the same planet. Then I replied, sir, I came from the so-and-so village and I wanted to take admission here. Then he said, are you mad or what? The guys, students coming from tribal remote areas not qualifying this. Why you want to waste the government seat here? You should go back. It takes me a year to answer that comment. I studied very hard, and the day came when the result announced in one of the leading English newspaper of Nagpur. Our result declared there. As the department belongs to the university, next day mark sheet also came, and what I found, I made a top in the whole university and the affiliated colleges. Then I took that paper cutout and that mark sheet to the same professor. I kept in his table. I said, sir, this also can happen. But I congratulate, I was very thankful to him because I took his comment as a compliment, induced myself resilient to that, and answered in different way. But this is not the case happen with everyone. Maybe people or student will demotivate and go back. That is, that is a loss for anyone's economically handicapped family. But I was very kind to him. I was very thankful to him because that added a fuel for progress where I am today. With the time, I experienced that there are people going to be there who always going to be there who demotivate you, who undermine you. But at that time, you have to decide whether to dissolve in your own anger or use that energy required for the anger for construction of your career. Because that speaks better than anything else. Well, this is the thing happened there. And today what I am, this 5.8 feet, 75 kg body standing in front of you, people called as Dr. Abhay Balaji Fulke, senior scientist. Story, ocean is also very interesting. We work on the diverse area of ocean, do the research like ocean circulation, climate change, the things that affect the marine life, and how to manage the ocean resources by utilizing them. We should not disturb ocean resources by exploiting them. So I have some pics. Whenever I used to go to the field work, I used to take some field that may help you to, yeah, this is, you can see this is the morning at Devbhumi, Dwarka, Gujarat. Very dawn, early morning. I took this photo. It seems like sunshine is hugging the ocean. The colors are mixing. It's so pleasant to see this. The next couple months before, in March, I was on the deep sea cruise. I was sailing to the Andaman Nicobar Island. There I took this sunset photo. It is near to the North Sentinel Island. See the beauty of the places, how pleasant it is. One's feeling will plunge into the ocean of felicity to be a part of such scenery. And these are the birds sitting on the mangrove tree waiting for the low tide, so that in intertidal area is the area where the high tide line and the low tide line, between that, where the organisms these birds used to eat, that they are waiting for that. This is how the Mother Ocean feeds all the organisms in the ocean. And this is a Samiani Island near Oka. People use, the maritime pilot especially use for the navigation purpose. It's good to see that also, like, in between the deep ocean. Well, may I have everyone's attention on this photo, especially just a couple months before I took. This is the only active volcano of India, Barren Island. I was there for some sampling, and we got the sample from the 4-kilometer down depth of the ocean. See, every time whenever we go to the ocean, we see the different creatures. We see the different diversity. Don't know what will happen to the next, like sometimes in night the flying fishes, bioluminescent organisms, and the dolphins are dancing beside our research vessel. It's so pleasant to see that. So this is the Barren Island. And this is the Chidiya Tapu at Andaman Nicobar Island. Why I want to show this photo, if you can see that tree is standing in the adverse condition, lots of climate change, weather conditions, adverse condition happen, but still that tree is standing there, showing the example that how resilient to the environment that is. Because if one induce the self-resilience, not only it enhances the inner beauty, but outer also. Because our environment becomes pleasant, and you can see how the scenery looks like. And as I'm talking about the oceanography, so we need research vessels also. The government of India provided 2 research vessels, RV, research vessel Sindhu Sankalp, and RV Sindhu Sadhana. These research vessels are well equipped with the state-of-art technologies where we can collect the sample on board, we can analyze real time, and some of the sample we can bring to the laboratory for the further analysis. And down photo there are our pilots and the masters and executive engineer who took us to the specially, any specific geographical coordinate for the sampling. Well, this plate, as you know that if you imagine the ocean is as vast as the food web of life, or the web of life we can say, that contains a different kind of the organisms, starting from the bacteria, phytoplankton, to the predators. So this particular slide talk about the plate which contains the bacterial colonies and the small bacterial cells which can be identified by the microscope, is not seen by the naked eye. The next is a primary producer, so-called phytoplanktons. Phytoplanktons are the tiny organisms which synthesize their own food by the photosynthesis process, and they are the one who contributes or produce more than world's half oxygen on the planet. Then come up with the zooplankton. Zooplankton are the small organisms. They eat the phytoplanktons. They move with the ocean current and circulations. So there are different types of, you can see the zooplanktons. And this zooplankton will be eaten up by the benthic organism. What is benthic organism? These are the small creature animals present in the sea floor at the sediment. They burrow the sediment, they do the nutrient cycling, they make the shelter for other organisms, and there are different types. Here we can see that some types are polychaetes, belongs to the Annelida and other groups. Likewise, other biodiversity is also there. You must have known like a fish, polychaete, gastropod, crabs, squid, dolphins, sperm whale, octopus, what's not. It contains a very diverse thing. This is a dead coral. Likewise, the live corals are also there, especially in the Malvan sanctuary and the Poshitra sanctuary at Gujarat. How we can forget the birds? The upper three birds are the ibis. First one is the glossy ibis. Second is the red-napped ibis. And at the head is black, that is the black-headed ibis. Then the swamp hen. Then the kingfisher. And of course the flamingo, which eats the blue-green algae. So these are the marine birds which feed on the small creatures, animals, present in the ocean intertidal area. So see the beauty of, the ocean and the marine life which inspires every day whenever we go to the field. But there is the other side of this coin too. And that is what the mankind has given to this biodiversity. That is pollution, plastic, microplastic, heavy metal, and pathogenic bacteria. What is pathogenic bacteria? Pathogenic means which can cause the disease. And in Mumbai beaches, all the beaches we found, they have already crossed the permissive limit set by the certain agencies. They have full of fecal coliforms. And some coliforms like Escherichia coli, E. coli, which present in our intestine, that due to the unregulated discharge of the sewage or partial treatment, that contains the toxin genes, that genes possess the virulence which cause the disease. And most of the bacteria are resistant to many antibiotics, more than the 2 antibiotics. That means in future, if you get infected with this bacteria, the chances of curing is less. So considering all this pollutant, microplastic, heavy metal, and pathogenic bacteria, we have collected one fish from the ocean. This is a croaker fish, Olyctaxus. It is very precious fish in Vietnam. This bladder cost for $10,000 per bladder that is used for the neuromedical science and for making the suture thread. So I brought this fish in the lab, dissected it. Shockingly, surprisingly, what I found, all parts of the fish, liver, intestine, muscle contains, the dangerous plastic microplastics like LDP, HDP, PP, that is polypropylene, and PS polystyrene. And that we have analyzed by the very sophisticated technique like FTIR, Fourier trans-infrared, and the Raman spectroscopy. So, one more about the plastic mitigation, because this plastic is happening. Our lab has developed this photobioreactor. Here we can see the different types of microplastics down the flask inside the incubator, and we have treated with the bacteria isolated from the ocean, which has the resilience towards this pollutant, which can degrade this plastic. And after degrading this polymer, it will release the carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide we have utilized for the growth of microalgae, which is in green color, and that microalgae, from that microalgae we have extracted the oil to make the biodiesel. So in this way it will serve the 2 purposes. One is solid waste management like plastic, and the second one is bioenergy. So this is the only kind of the study we have done in India, in the world, and it's published internationally. It's in a very reputed journal. So likewise, we got another bacteria also that has the capability to consume the trivalent, hexavalent chromium, which is a toxic heavy metal, and convert it to the trivalent. So here the back dot, this is a scanning electron microscopy photograph of that bacteria, where the red arrow shows that the chromium is inside the cell and they are remediating that. So this is about the scientific contribution, how we can mitigate, biomitigate, remediate the pollution. But you must be thinking, as a layman, how I can contribute to the conservation at ocean. So you can also contribute by participating in the beach campaigns, by showing the placard, and by disseminating the scientific knowledge through the electronic and the press media. This was a former science and technology minister. He came in the lab. So I just suggested him, why don't you have a Paryavaran pravachan than any other pravachan, as the climate is changing, as the sea level is rising. So he agreed to that. This is from my end, but what I wanted to request to all of you, that we should have that feeling that mother has for her kid, to conserve the nature, to protect the environment. We should become a soldier, like soldiers are present in the LOC, line of control. We should be a soldier of environment. We should protect that. And I take this opportunity. This ocean has given so much to us: air, food, beauty. It's time to give back. It's time to not to consider as an option, but consider as a sacred trust where we can be a caretaker of this planet. This is from my end. Thank you so much.